Every year on the 4th of July, our neighborhood looks like something out of a Hallmark postcard. Red, white, and blue bunting on porches, the smell of barbecue in the air, kids on bikes with flags in their spokes. Except for one house. Number 237. A small, white colonial at the end of the street. It never joins the celebration. No flags. No lights. No music. On July 4th, it always goes dark. And the weirdest part, no one seems to remember who lives there. I only noticed it last year. I was helping my dad hang string lights when I glanced down the block and saw 237. Every window was black, curtains drawn. While neighbors waved sparklers and grilled hot dogs, that house sat still, quiet, lifeless. Who lives there? I asked, pointing.
I don't think anyone. Maybe it's empty?
Dad squinted. But it wasn't empty. I'd seen lights on in other months. Groceries delivered to the doorstep. A figure once peeking through the curtain. But no one ever left or entered while we were outside. This year, I decided to watch it closely. I sat on our porch with binoculars like a creep while the block party rolled on. Music blared. Fireworks popped. Kids screamed with joy. At 7:03 p.m., the porch light at 237 turned off. By 7:06, all lights in the house were out. By 7:10, even the motion sensor by the garage went dead. Complete darkness. The rest of the street lit up like a festival. But 237 looked like it had been abandoned for decades. I walked over. I don't know what compelled me. Maybe it was the way the air changed as I got closer. The temperature dropped. The sounds from the party behind me seemed to fade. I stood at the bottom of the front steps. Then I saw it. The mailbox still had stickers on it, faded stars and stripes. But scratched underneath, just barely legible, was a name I'd never seen before. The Willoughbys. I asked my mom later. She furrowed her brow.
Willoughby? Doesn't sound familiar.
I asked Mr. Hanson next door.
Never heard of them.
He muttered.
That house has been empty since, long time, I guess.
But it hadn't. The next day, curiosity won. I checked the county records online. 237, Maple Drive, sold in 1984 to Eugene and Delilah Willoughby. No sale since. No death certificate. No forwarding address. I clicked a link buried in an old newspaper archive. Tragedy at local parade, explosion kills 3, injures 5. Date, July 4, 1984. One of the victims, Delilah Willoughby. Cause of explosion, under investigation. Suspected arson, never solved. But here's what shook me most. Neighbors had reported seeing the Willoughbys return to their home after the tragedy. But then, over time, people stopped talking about them. And every year after that, on July 4th, the house at 237 goes dark. It's almost like the street forgets. Everyone celebrates. But that one house remembers. The 4th of July had always been my favorite night of the year. Our small town in Ohio didn't have much, but it went all out for Independence Day. Barbecue smoke filled the air, kids ran around in red, white and blue face paint, and the fireworks. They were loud, bright, and endless. Last year was supposed to be the same. I had just moved back home after college, trying to find my footing again. My mom begged me to come to the festival, said it would cheer me up. So I went. Sat on a worn picnic blanket with my little cousins, sipped lemonade, and smiled like everything was fine. When the fireworks started, everyone cheered. But 5 minutes in, I heard something that no one else seemed to notice. A scream. Not like the excited yell of a kid. Not like someone startled by a firework. This was sharp. Raw. Terrified. It came from behind the crack of the explosions, faint at first, like it was buried beneath the noise. I froze, scanning the crowd. Everyone was watching the sky, clapping, eating, laughing. Then I heard it again. Louder. A woman, screaming. I grabbed my cousin's arm. Did you hear that? He looked at me blankly.
Hear what?
The sky lit up with another massive bloom, red, this time, and the scream pierced through again, jagged and desperate. I stood, heart pounding. There was a line of trees behind the field. No one ever went back there. But the sound, it came from that direction. I walked toward it, brushing past lawn chairs and flags, barely hearing the confused calls of my mom behind me. Another firework burst. And with it, the scream turned into something worse. Pleading.
Please, someone help me.
It was real. I reached the edge of the trees. The air felt colder somehow. The kind of cold that doesn't make sense in July. Then the wind shifted, and the fireworks suddenly seemed quieter. Duller. That's when I noticed something strange. There were no lights in the trees. No glow from the fireworks reached inside. It was like the forest was swallowing everything. I stepped in. 1 step. Then 2. The moment my foot hit the moss-covered ground, everything went silent. No fireworks. No crowd. Just darkness. And then, right in front of me, I saw her. A girl. About my age. Covered in dirt, tears running down her face. Her mouth opened in a silent scream. And she wasn't alone. Behind her, in the black, were shapes. Tall, twitching, with long arms that didn't bend the right way. Their eyes glowed faint red, blinking in sync with the fireworks in the distance. I backed away. Fell, scrambled, and ran until I was out of the trees and back in the light and music and cheers. Everyone looked the same. Nothing had changed. Except me. Because when I looked at the next firework, brilliant white and gold, I heard it again. That same scream, trapped, echoing beneath the beauty. I left early, didn't talk to anyone. The next morning, I checked the local news. No reports of a missing girl. No accidents. Nothing. But when I looked at the photos I'd taken on my phone from that night, I saw something in one of them. In the distance, past the crowd, at the edge of the trees. A pale face. Mouth open wide, eyes full of terror. And right behind her, red glowing dots. Just like the ones I saw. This year, I won't be watching the fireworks. Because I know what hides behind the light. And it screams. It was the 4th of July, and like every year, our little town gathered in the open field by Miller's Creek for the fireworks show. It's always the same, the mayor gives a short speech, we sing the anthem, and then the fireworks begin right at midnight. That night, the field buzzed with excitement. Kids ran around with glow sticks, families unfolded blankets on the grass, and old men sipped lukewarm beer from plastic cups. I was with my sister, Rachel. We had picked a good spot and were counting down the minutes. But something strange happened around 11:26 p.m. The first firework exploded, loud, violent, and red. Everyone turned toward the sky. No music, no countdown. Just, boom. Another blast, this time a screaming green flare that split the dark above the tree line. Then another. Then two more in rapid succession. People clapped at first, assuming maybe the schedule had changed. But when the fifth one burst low, too low, and the sparks hit the treetops, the cheers stopped. The fireworks were coming from the woods, not from the launch zone near the lake. The announcer's voice crackled over the speakers.
Please remain calm. The show has not yet begun. Everyone, stay where you are.
Then came the sirens. 2 fire trucks roared down the gravel road toward the forest. Something was wrong. Then the wind shifted, and we smelled it. Smoke. And something else beneath it, like sulfur and meat. My sister grabbed my arm.
Do you hear that?
I didn't, at first. Then I did. Screaming. Distant, but sharp. Not panic screams. Not crowd noise. They were rhythmic. Repetitive. Like a chant. Or a warning. More fireworks shot up, but these weren't colorful. They were flickering orange bursts, closer to signal flares than celebration. One of them landed in a field just 20 feet away. The ground hissed where it hit. A man ran out of the woods. His clothes were torn, face bloodied, eyes wide.
They're not fireworks!
He shouted.
Get out! It's not part of the...
His voice cut out as he collapsed. A medic rushed over. Rachel and I stood frozen, along with everyone else. Then, without warning, the power cut out. The speakers died. The lights strung around the field went dark. For a full minute, the only thing lighting the night were those fiery bursts from the trees. I saw shadows moving between the trunks. Too fast. Too tall. People began to scream. Not the rehearsed, patriotic kind of scream, but real fear. People running, tripping over blankets, grabbing children, screaming names. I grabbed Rachel's hand and we ran. We didn't stop until we got back to the house and locked every door. The official statement the next morning claimed it was a misfire from illegal fireworks brought in by locals. They didn't mention the man from the woods. They didn't mention the shadows. And they definitely didn't explain why the fireworks started at exactly 11:26 p.m., the same time, decades ago. When a freak fireworks accident killed 7 people during our town's first 4th of July show.